Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about a unique technique to the law of attraction. Now, I deal with a lot of people over the course of a year, and there are general principles that pretty much apply to everybody, but some people are different cases, and so this might apply to you if you're a little different than what most people are going through. Because even though they're going through different issues, most people, there are similar ways of getting the good results they want. Some people have issues with affirmations and visualization. It just doesn't seem to bring anything good out of them. Like, it may make them feel a little bit better at first, but there's not tangible results being manifested in their lives. So this is a little different approach, and it might be a little contrary to the normal way of thinking about these things, but that's all right. This might work for you. It might not work for anyone else, but it might work for you, and that's good. The idea here is that you would go back and think about a time in your life when it was not as good as it is now. You would say, well, wait, we're not supposed to focus on things that are negative. No, you're not. But this is very important. This is a way of kind of tricking your subconscious mind into focusing on the good. We're going a little bit off the path to get onto the right narrow way that you need to be on. And so what this can do is, if you talk about to yourself, you just think out loud, I used to be very poor. What does that naturally imply now? That you're not very poor. Or you used to be very sick. It implies that you're not very sick anymore. And this can be a way of bypassing some of those roadblocks that your subconscious mind will put up and get you to focus on the present, now, good life that you have and the manifestation of the even better life that you want to have in the future. This does not get you focused on lack. It does not get you focused on what you don't have now. It gets you focused on what you do have now. And I know this is a strange way of going about it, but for some people, this just works. This works well for them. For other people, it might get you into a negative pattern of focusing on the negative, and you never get back onto focusing on just how good your life is now compared to what it was in the past. Ideally, you want to get to a point where you don't have to do this, and you can just focus on good things, only focus on what you want, think about it, meditate on it, talk about it, visualize it, and believe it and decree it. But some people, it takes a little bit more. Some people, there's a little bit different ways they got to go about getting to the same subconscious programming of believing for good. Because many people, if your life has been hard, it may be harder for you at first to see the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. To see that there is good days coming for you. To see that God reigns upon the just and the unjust alike. To see that God is good. To see that the Father of lights, every good gift comes from Him. This is a way you can reinforce that. And yes, it is very counterintuitive. I get that. And this is not something you want to focus on all day long. But just this temporary moment of realizing life used to be worse. I used to be poor. I used to be very poor. I used to be very sick. Whatever it may be, I used to be very unhappy. Because by stating that, there is within that truth, the truth that you are not in that place anymore. Because you used to be those things. Not anymore. And this can open the door for you to start really believing for the goodness of God in your life. Now, do not let this get you into fretting over the past and feeling bad about the past. If it does anything like that in you, this is not for you. But if this gets you thinking about the positive, gets you thinking about the goodness of God that you have in your life right now, and that there's more available to you, then it's working perfectly for you. If it gets you focusing on the negative and you start dredging up the past to just focus on bad things, and there's no positive target for that action, stop doing it. For most people, you just need to focus on the positive and not even think about the past at all anymore. Just forget the past and move forward. And that is the ideal way to approach things. And I would still suggest that for the vast majority of people. But this might be a weird little quirky technique that might actually bring some good results for you. But this is really for those people who just had a hard time. Who the affirmations, the visualization, the focusing on the good does not seem to be breaking through the hindrances in their subconscious mind, the roadblocks in their subconscious mind. And for every individual, that's different. But if this resonates with you, give it a try. Listen, if it's already not working for you, this isn't going to hurt you anymore. And I know this is a weird, quirky way of doing things, and many people disagree with it. They'd be adamantly against it. That's all right. This is for those people who've tried all the normal ways of doing things, the traditional approaches that work well for the vast majority of people, but they just don't seem to be working for them. This can be that way of getting you to realize the goodness of God in your life. Because you don't have to be thinking about being the successful multimillionaire, living in a mansion and healthy and happy and all that stuff. That is too hard for most people to have faith for when right now they're struggling just to pay for food. So if you can just get to the point where you realize how good your life is right here and now compared to what it was in the past. Now, I don't care how bad it is right now, you've probably had a time in your life when it was not as good. So focus on how good you have it now. The only point in addressing the past is to show you that the present is so good. And to get you to have faith for even more goodness when you realize just how good you have it. Just how blessed you are right here and now. It may not be where you want to be, but it's getting better. And you have more and more and more to look forward to. That will help you in your manifestation because you're focusing on the good. You're not really focusing on the negative of the past. You're using that negative of the past that already exists, already happened, to enlighten you on the goodness of your present reality and the goodness that you're going to experience in the future. My friend, I pray this was a blessing for you, and I pray that it will get you the good results that you want in life, and you'll start to experience the glorious blessings of God overflowing in your life each and every day. May God bless you richly.